Hi everyone, and welcome to Lecture 6, where we discuss e-commerce marketing and advertising concepts. There is no doubt that the internet plays a major role in all of our lives. It's estimated that almost 75%, which is about 90 million US households, have broadband internet access in 2014. And even though the growth rate has slowed, the intensity and scope of using the internet has increased. It's evident, though, that still some demographic groups have a much higher percentage of online usage than others. This will be affected by things like income, education, age, and even ethnicity. In terms of broadband and mobile access, there's significant inequalities in the types of broadband access that we all have available at our fingertips. Some of the groups that are affected by these inequalities will, of course, be older or more mature consumers, lower income consumers, and lower educational levels. Non-broadband households, though, still access the internet, but most times they will do so through their mobile devices or other neighborhood locations. One of the things that we often encounter with regard to usage of the internet is what we call the neighborhood effects. It's the concept of connectedness that we need to look at. So the top 10 to 15% of those of us who are connected now are much more independent, while the middle 50% share more purchase patterns of their friends. In studying the consumer, we have to study consumer behavior. Consumer behavior is a social science discipline, and in consumer behavior, we attempt to try and figure out what consumers purchase and where and why. Consumer behavior models attempt to predict or explain the wide range of consumer decisions. These decisions are often based on things like demographic factors and other intervening or more intermediate variables. In terms of profiling your online consumer, consumers shop online primarily for convenience more than anything else. So, why do you shop online? Is it because of the variety of products that you have at your fingertips? Is it the convenience that it brings? Or is it the better prices? Choose here now. There are 5 stages in the consumer decision-making process. First of all, there's an awareness of need by the consumer. There's a search for more information. There's an evaluation of alternatives, an actual purchase decision that's made by the consumer, and then last but not least, any post-purchase contact with the firm where oftentimes consumers can voice their satisfaction or dissatisfaction with their purchase. The consumer decision-making process is quite similar for in-store versus online purchasing. In the general online behavior model, though, there are a couple of different things that we need to pay attention to in particular. One would be the characteristics of the user, the characteristics of the product that they're looking at, features of the website, including usability and security features, which we discussed in a previous lecture, attitudes towards online purchasing, and perceptions about control over their web environment. As a business owner, you also want to look at things like clickstream behavior, which indicate how the consumer is clicking through your website. In terms of shoppers online, you want to look at 2 types of shoppers. You have the browsers and you have the buyers. Almost 90% of internet users are there because they're shopping. 74% of these consumers are buyers, while 16% are browsers, which means that not that they don't purchase, but they will browse online and then purchase offline. 1/3 of offline retail purchases are influenced by online activities, and online traffic is also influenced by offline brands and shopping. E-commerce and traditional commerce are no doubt coupled together. Consumers buy lots of different things online. There are big ticket items which traditionally cost $1,000 or more. This would include, for example, travel arrangements, computer hardware, electronics. Consumers are now confident in purchasing online and purchasing these costlier items online. But they also buy small ticket items which are $100 or less. Things like apparel, books, office supplies, and software. The types of purchases depend on the level of experience with the web that the consumer has. As a consumer, we find our online vendors in different ways. Sometimes we know what we want and we go towards that specific site, that specific retail site that's going to give us that item. Sometimes we go through a search engine like Google or Yahoo to find a retailer. Or sometimes we're on marketplace sites like Amazon or eBay, which give you the option of several retailers or several sellers in one location. 10% of internet users, though, don't shop online. There's a trust factor that they can't get over, and there are hassle factors like shipping costs and returns and addresses and credit card information that they don't want to bother with. As we mentioned, these types of shoppers, they're the two most important factors that shape the decision to purchase online will include, of course, the utility of it and the trust factor. Utility has to do with the price is really better. Is this really bringing me more convenience? Is this faster than going to a store? And of course, the trust, the perception of credibility that the consumer has with the site, the ease of use, the lessening of the risk that they think they're encountering with the online purchase. Sellers can develop trust by building strong reputations for honesty, fairness, and delivery with their consumers. In terms of digital commerce marketing, one of the first things we're going to look at is, of course, internet marketing. And over the years, internet marketing has proven itself to be more personalized to the consumer, involve more participants, more peer-to-peer, and be more communal in its purpose. The most effective internet marketing has all four of these features. To have a great digital commerce marketing plan, it must be multi-channel. You must include your website, you must include traditional online marketing, social marketing, mobile marketing, and of course, your offline marketing. But with all these channels, that begs the question, which part of the marketing plan should you focus on first? How do you integrate the different platforms for a coherent message? And how do you allocate resources? How do you measure and compare the metrics from all the different platforms to see what's working versus what isn't? And how do you link each of your platforms to the sales revenue generated? One of the first channels mentioned was that of your website. And your website is great because it helps you build customer relationships. It helps you establish your brand identity and gain perfect customer expectations. It helps you differentiate your product from what your competitors are offering. It also helps you anchor your brand. It helps you solidify the intent, the purpose behind your brand. It can inform and educate your consumers, and it can help shape the customer experience. Online advertising is the fastest growing form of advertising, primarily because it caters more to that 18 to 34-year-old audience who is online a lot. It also has ads that are very targeted and ads that can be personalized in nature. They would include things like search advertising, mobile messaging, sponsorships, classifieds, lead generation, and email advertising. In terms of the more traditional online marketing and advertising tools, let's take a look at what we call SEO, which is search engine optimization, display ad marketing, email marketing, affiliate and viral marketing, and lead generation marketing. SEM or search engine marketing is where companies are using search engines to brand their company or to brand their product. Search engine advertising is the use of these search engines to support direct sales of your product or service. Types of search engine advertising would include sponsored links, where it is you pay for certain keywords to be placed alongside your brand or your company or your website, so that whenever someone searches for those specific keywords, your website comes up. There's also keyword advertising and network keyword advertising. Search engine marketing goes hand in hand with your search engine optimization. This is how you optimize your website to be found easily by your consumers through the use of the most prominent or most probable keywords or phrases that people will search for when searching for your product or your service. And of course, you also have display ad marketing. These would include your banner ads, your rich media ads and video ads, sponsorships, and native advertising. Email marketing is another great tool because with emails you can send them directly to interested users. Benefits, of course, include that it's inexpensive, you can measure and track the responses from your consumers, and you can personalize the messages and the offers. Three main challenges with email marketing is one, of course, spam, anti-spam software that more and more people are trying to install to reduce the amount of spam that they get, and poorly targeted email lists. Okay, emails that you get that maybe the emails are incorrect or they're all email addresses and the message never gets through to the consumer. Other types of traditional online marketing include, of course, affiliate marketing. This is where you have a fee that's paid to other websites for sending customers to their website. So you place an ad on a website, and anytime the customer from that website clicks on the ad to come through to your website, you pay the other website money or the fee. There's viral marketing, which is marketing designed to inspire customers to pass the message along to others. And of course, we all hear this term now when we have videos or memes that are going viral and spreading from consumer to consumer. And then, of course, lead generation marketing, services and tools that help you collect, manage, and convert leads into actual consumers. Social marketing and advertising is the fastest growing type of online marketing. There are enormous audiences on social networks, and companies are taking advantage of this. Four features driving the growth of social marketing and advertising will be, of course, the social sign-on, the collaborative shopping that happens on a lot of these social networks, network notifications where customers get notifications immediately when things happen on their social networks, and the social search, recommendations, reviews for products that consumers get from members on their social networks. Blog marketing is another form of social marketing or advertising that companies are taking advantage of now. In blogs, traditionally you have a more educated, higher income audience or higher income reader. It's the ideal platform to start some sort of viral campaign. And you have game marketing as well. Games have a large audience, both social and mobile games, and game marketing is often used for branding and driving customers to purchase moments, especially at things like restaurants and retail stores. Mobile marketing is also growing rapidly. Major formats include display, where you can have very rich media and video, games, email, text messaging via SMS, in-store messaging, QR codes, and couponing. And there's also app marketing as well, which is growing very rapidly. With the improvements in GPS technology, local marketing has also become very prevalent for businesses. This is really where you use a person's geographic location to tailor messages to that consumer. Advertisers are expected to spend around $32 billion on online local ads in 2014. The most common local marketing tools will, of course, be tools like Google Maps, daily deals, and coupons. Again, one of the things we mentioned is the fact that because as business owners we have to use numerous channels all at the same time, all giving the same consistent message, you have to make sure that you're managing those channels properly. The average American, they say, spends more than 75% of media time on digital media channels, and they're multitasking, which means that they're using several different channels and devices all at the same time. Internet campaigns are often strengthened by using other channels. So they say the most effective are campaigns using consistent imagery throughout all the channels. Now, for any questions on what we've discussed so far, please leave those questions in our discussion forum. I've decided to break this lecture up into two parts. As you can see from the slides, there are several slides in this lecture. So we're only going to cover in our discussion forum the topics mentioned in the first half of this lecture. Any topics or any slides that appear in the second half will be discussed next week.